Get on Monarch Norris, girl. You're funny.
All that practice.
That was so funny. I was like, let me text this girl. And then I was like, I'm on live. I could just say it. But
The thing is, I did join from Monarch's page. It just sent me a notification from my personal page. We here. We're here. It happened.
we are here. Um, I'm, I'm away like a good minute.
Okay. How are you this fine day?
I'm
Looking
good.
mighty fine yourself. Okay.
Thank you. You looking good over there too.
Thank you. It's hot in my apartment, y'all. I'm trying to stop from perspiring.
Listen, get you a fan. I had to turn my air off because it's really loud. Because I'm like distracting. It bothers me. Get the book.
Go get it. Oh no, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, use
Not
the
you
book.
fanning with the. You know what? If black people don't do nothing else, it is utilize what
Black
they
people is
have.
gonna black people. That's what they gonna do.
And it's none but respect over here.
I mean, it's a great book. Some good material in here. It's thick enough to fan you.
Mm,
It seems like it's just like very versatile.
yeah, it's multi-use, definitely for sure.
And I love that for us. Well, I'm ready if you're ready.
Let's get into it.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me in Brookie's Corner. This is a segment that I wanted to do to highlight other authors, creatives, poets, anybody who has a body of work that they wanted to share. Um, I'm just excited to support. Like, I really love being able to read other people's work and like give them their praise. And so it just seemed fitting for me to talk to Savannah. I love Savannah. She's great. I have a little bio to read. It's not really much of a bio. I kind of know a lot about her, but she is a young professional, activist,
Mm,
auntie who works
yes.
in the nonprofit world, right? Okay. She graduated from my alma mater,
Mm.
the real HU,
Hey, amen.
Howard and
Amen.
right here,
Say
Howard
it
Hand.
one more time.
It's funny, like we're acting like we didn't graduate
Yeah.
today, but yeah, she graduated with a degree in media journalism and film.
Very true.
I did, and she also most recently last year, right,
Yeah. 2021.
graduated with her master's in public policy from UCLA. So, she like 2 degrees hotter. You Definitely. So you wrote this book.
Yes.
Put it up. Dear child, people may hate you.
There
Shout
it
out
is.
to Tyra for the illustrations.
Awesome illustrator. Yes.
Um, I love this book. I'm so happy that you have this book. Tell us about it. Like, how did you come up with the book title? What inspired you?
Yeah, really talking about turning triumph into tragedy. We as a community are all too familiar with seeing Black people victimized on television. I don't have to name any one particular instance for it to ring true. I just know that at a certain point, I was tired and also scared, mainly for our children, because I would see the video coverage of various events on these screens, and I was like, wow, there are people out there who hate us. And at the time, when I speak of us, I was thinking of me specifically as a Black queer woman. Um, those are three things that define my identity so intrinsically so. And I was like, oh my gosh, what about the Black children? What about the queer children? What about the little girls and boys who look so much like my nieces and nephews? Like, what are we as a village going to say to them as they're growing up? And I know a lot of people like to shy away and put on rosy goggles, and that's a beautiful thing, and that's a technique in itself. But I call this book my love letter to our nation's children, because although I'm telling kids and prepping them like, hey, there are people out there who hate you, it is equally mapped with that doesn't mean that you can't do anything that you want to do. And a repeated motif in the book is they do not define you. And it was really me trying to tell our kids that, like, the world is going to suck at times, but it doesn't have to define you, nor does it have to define your journey.
Yeah, I really appreciated that when I read the book, that it was very affirming, and I really feel like the the people and the children that it identifies, like it I mean, you basically got your bases covered. I mean, just the way that you affirm each and every child and what they can expect. I really like that. I think that's awesome. You better keep on,
Thank
keep
you.
on here. All right, so did you answer what inspired you to create this book? Yes, you did. I guess you did.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
what is your goal? Like, this is going to be used as a tool for parents, guardians, whoever is in the child's life. They can use this
Mhm.
book to have these difficult conversations. I mean, like, what what's the goal? Like, what?
Yeah, that's definitely true. The book is equipped in the back with a glossary, common questions, and also questions to take the conversation outside the book a little bit step further. I call it a conversation tool for parents and educators who really want to have open and honest conversations with their children about real things like hate, racism, prejudice, otherness. Um, but the book puts it into a context that children will understand. So my hope and goal for this book is that it'll become required reading in a few schools. My hope and prayer for this book is that adults alike will also use it in DEI initiatives. I'm actually working with a nonprofit right now, a part of their DEI initiative, it's a resource and referral child network agency, and they're using the book internally for their staff and their clientele, to really forward these conversations, because now is the time. This is not the time to shed away or make things cute or make things palpable for the masses. It's time to have real conversations with the people we care about and to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable.
I like that. That's been like one of my mottos for the past few years, like on my vision board, is to be, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm looking through this and I see some of these questions that you have you ever been made fun of for something you felt like you couldn't control? Do you know what racism is? Small things can change the world. Name one thing you can do to change the world. And I really like this. It's very interactive. It seems like it's something that you can fill out with the family, or the kid can do it, on their own. So, I have a question though. So, like,
Yeah,
what would you say the age range, for this
that's a
material?
good question, and I get it a lot. I truly say 0 to 12, and I only say that, and I include zero in there because one, we should be reading to our kids even before they can even understand language. But I've used it in my own families with that specific age range from 0 to 12, talking with nieces and nephews, just like tossing it out there, reading pages, having them read it back to me. Um, I truly feel 0 to 12, and that's typically elementary school age children,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, when I first read it, I'm like, "Ooh, Lord, this is a lot of pages," but this is definitely. It's not like a picture book. Like, yes, there are illustrations in there, but it's more than that. Like, it's the words, it's the illustrations, it's everything. Like, here, let me show some of this because it's very nice. Y'all. I'm gonna plug her regardless, but somebody better get this book.
And I can say that we were very intentional, my illustrator and I, we were very intentional in communicating words through our pictures and also through our narrative. And what's unique about each of these pages, we address each child directly. So we say, dear Black child, dear Latinx child, dear Muslim child, dear Indigenous child, dear Asian child, dear queer child, dear biracial child. We really do try to hit a wide berth of identities and state not only in text, but through the pictures. um, the world may say this about you, or you may be depicted in this way, but that doesn't mean that they define you at all, and you can do anything that you want to do.
Yes, I love that. So, why is it important, like right now, to have these conversations? I feel like adults often try to sugarcoat things and protect their kids. They should. It's a crazy world out there, but like, why is it helpful to be able to have these conversations early, would you say?
What makes this time uniquely suited for a book like this is there is an unprecedented attack on otherness right now happening in our country. And I say that with Roe v. Wade being overturned, and a lot of civil liberties that we thought were cemented now being on the auction block, with critical race theory being outlawed in certain schools. Um, Now is not the time, and I hate to be repetitive, to be comfortable and to placate and to make nice and to act like it isn't like a dumpster fire out here. There is something very wrong, and we wonder a lot in how we got here. And these adults, these politicians, these people in charge, they were once children, and they themselves were indoctrinated in a certain way of thinking. And I truly believe that if we disrupt that, if we get our babies early and start speaking life and love and acceptance and inclusivity at a very young age, that will definitely be reflected um, in the way that we run our country in a couple years.
I'm definitely sending my kids over to TT Savannah's house. Go get your life. Go get your life. I need a break. Just kidding. No. So, what's next for you? Do you have anything that's up in the pipeline for you?
What's next for me truly is pushing this book, getting in spaces that welcome it, who want a more in-depth look into it. Like I said, I'm working with a nonprofit right now on one of their initiatives, with inclusivity and acceptance. I want to be in schools, baby. Give me your children. Put me in front of your children, because I feel like I can speak so much life. Not only that, I'm a great listener. Like if some people I don't think give their kids enough credit, because I will admit some kids, they just be talking and it'd be like, all right, cool. There's cheese and it's moon, and like it's hard to connect sometimes. I sympathize with parents all the time because they are just on from the moment that baby wakes up to the moment that they go to sleep. Um, but what I love truly about children is the way that they think and the way that they conceptualize and the way that they problem solve, because they are so unique and so capable, and so resilient often. So I want to be in front of kids. I want to be preaching the message of this book. Um, yeah, and I want to be out there listening to what kids have to say.
Do you see yourself like writing another children's book? You think this is like an alley you want to stay in, or can you see yourself like expanding to a more mature audience?
Honestly a great question.
I know, right? I just thought of it. Like, oh, journalism, actively listening.
Girl, say don't sleep on your skills. Um, I see myself writing to the masses. I don't know what that looks like in its entirety. I have dreamed a little bit about writing a children's book around consent. I'm like, if we stand on hard topics, like let's get into it. There's a really awesome children's book. I think it's called like Keeping Your Hands or Know Where Your Hands Are. I love that book. Um, but I whatever my writing looks like in the future, I don't want to shy away from hard discussions or hard topics, or yeah, like I don't know, I want to get grimy. I don't know what that looks like, but that's how I feel.
You want all the smoke.
Yes, give me the smoke, child.
Um. Okay.
Yeah.
So we about to switch gears a little bit, you know. Tell me a little bit about Monarch Noir.
Yes, Monarch Noir Industries is my publishing company. I self-published this book. I honestly love the fact that I did that. It's a very challenging journey, but it also puts you one where you have like the utmost control. Um, and I was like, hey, if I can publish my book, I could probably publish other people's books. Not only that, but thanks to our background, I do have experience and connection to people who do multimedia content, who do audio. Yes, you are one of those people
Oh,
who
no,
I
I'm
know
tickle in my throat.
who do have audio knowledge. We say multimedia content, audio, which is like podcasting and a wide berth of things, and also publishing. And Monarch Noir truly is about creating a monarchy. I thought about like what is the most powerful like governing body, and the internet told me it was a monarch. And I was like, okay, I like that. And we as Black people, we be like, hey, queen, hey, king, we want to uplift ourselves. We're constantly trying to get back to when we were worshipped and walked and talked as if we were. So if like I asked myself, if I want to create a lineage for Black people, I need a Black monarchy. And that's how it came to be.
Well, I'm just gonna put this out there because I love to support, and you, my friend, that keep me in mind. I'll always be in your army. I'm always rooting for
In
you.
your oh, I like that. I'm always in your army.
You know, I'm a
Ooh,
writer sometimes.
yeah.
You see the shirt, it says Black Writers Matter. Black Writers Matter. Okay, I can't write it.
Yes, yes. Your skills
Um,
are unmatched.
okay, so where can people find your book and find more information about Monarch Noir?
Currently, they can find it on my website. I can post it in the chat. monarchnoirindustries.com. That is
Okay.
also exclusively where the book is being sold for now. For now, for not for long. And yeah, we're not doing too bad. But check us out on the website. Learn more about me. Learn more about the book, and learn more about the services we offer.
Let me see if I can add something to the chat too, to whoever's out there. Oh, okay. Did I do that? No, I didn't. Oop, somewhere. Stop acting like I know. You know I'm an auntie too.
This is so
Just
shameful
technology.
for two young millennials, literally like on the cusp.
Someone told me I was Gen Z yesterday, and I was just like, "Am I?" I don't
Oh,
keep up with that stuff.
what
I
a
don't.
what an insult!
I don't know. But how can people support you? Like in your mission and with your goals, and to be in front of the children and help them feel affirmed and know that they are seen and everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. I appreciate it. First thing you can do to support me is buy a book. Even if you're not a parent, I'm not a parent myself. I'm just a dedicated auntie. Um, and we have conversations all the time. Like you would be like if you just open yourself up to kids, it's a wonder, truthfully, like what they'll allow you or how they will allow you into your lives. But also, if you just see me reposting, if you're like, I don't know what she's doing, she's talking to somebody on live, child. I don't know. Repost it, like it, comment like kind words truly keep me going during this time. So just yeah, just kindness and a shout out.
Tag someone who you think needs.
Yes, that's you. Spread the word.
Any advice for parents, educators, authors, anyone in that publishing process? I'm self-published, you're self-published, so I just wanted to make sure we covered that. Like, what advice you have, some struggles that you ran into, some tips, whatever.
Yeah. Well, advice for parents and educators. One, we're guiding these young pupils, right? But I would say try to listen as much as you preach. Like it's such an incredible job to be trusted with the guidance of a child. But I would say try to listen to and be open to learning something from this tiny human who hasn't been here for that long. In terms of like up and coming writers and authors and people who want to self publish too, it's going to be hard, and you might get discouraged, but keep going because you have no idea like how needed your words are and how needed your voice and perspective is. I can't tell you how many times I've been gotten down and trodden on this self-publishing journey, and then someone will say, "Oh my gosh, I just shared your book with my such and such. That's what I needed. That's what they needed." I remember very early on in my journey, um, a young man from my high school who is now trans, who transitioned from female to male, excuse me. They had gotten their hands on the book and was like, "Thank you so much for representing stories like mine." And I'm like, "What? This is just my neighborhood. Like, I don't think I had sold 100 copies yet." And a friend of mine reached out who was undergoing transition, and I was like, "Wow, that's incredible." I truly say that I wrote a book that I wish I had as a kid, and I think other people are resonating with that.
I love that. What would you say was the hardest part though? Like the process of, like getting this idea that you had and like putting it down on paper or even typing it or even finding somebody to illustrate it. Like what was the hardest part?
Holding myself accountable. You've worked with me, child, so you should know. But for so long, this was just an idea. And for so long, it was like, yeah, I think I have something to say. And I spent so much time convincing myself that I didn't, or convincing myself that it wasn't that deep. Um, when I could have been out here like screaming from the rooftops, like, "Hey, I'm here. This is what you need to read." Um, so yeah, holding myself accountable, the discipline to keep going, um, and knowing when to ask for help.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, I had an idea for my book for a long time. I think I was talking about publishing my book since like high school, maybe even like junior high, and I just did it last year. And it does take a lot to really sit down. It's like, okay, this is my baby. I'm owning this. Like, I need to do this for me. I have something to say. And then, like,
Mm-hmm.
sitting down and actually doing it. Yeah, because I call my book my baby because it took
Yeah,
9-10 months to do.
yeah.
Um, so I really birthed that thing when it came out. I was like, "Woo, child, we're the queen. I'm ready to eat." Like I was just
Not ready to eat.
no for real, but it was a very trying thing. I think the most difficult part for me was probably deciding what goes in it and what stays. Like
Mm,
I feel like I had to decide what my best work was, or at least what I was willing to share with people. Because when you publish, it's like you're putting yourself out there. You're literally ripping off the
yeah,
and
yeah,
it doesn't matter what the topic is. It's just like, hey, I'm an author. I got this book I think y'all should read, and everybody's gonna be like, and who are you? Like, so it's just like kind of scary when you do it.
yeah,
So, yeah, that was probably like the scariest and hardest part for me because I feel like I do poetry and I write in other ways, but like my poems are very personal and
mm,
yeah, it took some like I had to be okay with myself to be that vulnerable.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I will also say too, kind like building off of that, I would say define success for you early on, what that looks like, and be honest with yourself. Because I remember I used to be like, if just one person buys my book, I will be the happiest person out there, right? And for a minute, I was sitting on a smooth like 20 sales. That was it. And I was like, why is nobody buying my book? Everybody got kids out here. Why is no one coming on my page and buying my book? And then someone was like, girlfriend, what happened to if only one person buys your book? Like I would say, get comfortable dreaming it is sometimes so uncomfortable to verbally say, like, this is what I want. This is the influence. This is the presence that I would like to have. And I struggle with that myself. This is me dragging me. Um, so I would say there's power in words. Define your success early, and then put people around you who equally believe in that. Or even if they don't, that you see something and they see something in you back, and help you get there.
Yeah, that's real. I think when you publish something, it's a very humbling experience because when you're in the process, you got a lot of people like, "Oh yeah, girl, I can't wait till you're done. I'm a
Yeah.
support." Da, 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 da. And then when it gets published, it's like, only three
Where,
people bought my book.
yeah, where'd you
And I
go?
and I think for me, like money wasn't something that I cared about. Like,
Mm.
and I felt very selfish when in my opening acknowledgments or whatever in my book, I'm like, yeah, I wrote this. This book is dedicated to me, and it's just like not that I was being selfish, but it's just like I needed to do this for me, and
Yeah.
it's not even that I don't care who bought it, who reads it, but it's like these are my words. They have value to me, but at the same time, I'm always surprised to find out that somebody's bought my book,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, me?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's so it's I don't think that's something that I'll ever get used to feeling. It's like, oh my
It's
god,
odd.
you
It's
reading my
odd.
book? You know, like it feels like they know a part of me is like, oh my god, which poem you read? Well, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, it's a it's a very humbling experience.
Yeah.
So I feel like my Howard education wouldn't pay off if I didn't ask you this final question. And
Okay.
question is, being that we have the same degree, is there anything else you'd like to add that I didn't touch on or anything on the topic of dear child, people may hate you, or being an author, publishing, just being a woke person, a dope person, a creative, an artist, whatever, however you identify.
mm, I want to say, was it James Baldwin who said to be conscious and black in this country is to live in a constant state of rage? Oh, I guess Lucius agrees. um, this year I have felt that. Like I've always known that. Um, but I've felt that. And I would just encourage um, black artists, particularly like young black artists who are like, why am I doing this? The world has always been yada 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 yada. To stay encouraged and to utilize that rage, to mobilize that rage, and also like to make space for it. Um, because we as complex human beings can allow two emotions to exist at one time. So with that rage is love, with that rage is understanding, with that rage is motivation. And with that rage, like you produce bomb ass art, and like let it be a guiding force. Don't let it limit you. And again, I'm dragging myself.
Well, luckily, you have this one friend who doubles as your accountability partner.
Yes. My,
So
mm-hmm.
you won't be hauling ass for much longer, okay? We're going
Oh,
to get some pep in your step or something.
it's coming. It's like I this whole time I haven't ever felt like I wasn't where I needed to be. If I wasn't necessarily doing or producing as I wanted, I've been surrounded by people who light that fire under me, like yourself, to put me to just put me in an even better position. But it's coming for sure.
Well, Savannah, thank you so much for joining me in Brookie's Corner. It was a pleasure speaking.
Thank you to you and your platform and your amazingness and your friendship and your guidance as you sit there. Actually, this is just a ploy for you to say just like that. No, but thank you to you, friend. Truly.
Yeah, this was fun. I'm glad I got to do this for the first time with you and
Yes.
figure out live because I'm trying to guide you, but I'll be winging it myself. You know what? We did it and we
We
done.
did.
So
We did.
So let me figure out how to save this, fun. I'll talk to you later, friend.
All right, my love. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.